Hello, YouTube. So, what is your definition of fucked up? My definition is generally anything dealing with human rights. You can see a lot of fucked up circumstances. Police brutality is pretty fucked up. People that sell their kids into slavery is pretty fucked up. But another thing that's really fucked up is a police department that allows and does nothing to prevent a woman being abused. It makes me really sad. It makes me a bit sick. There's just no cause for it. Now you might be wondering why I'm bringing this up. Well, I live in a 3-bedroom apartment with my wife and 2 kids. And now, that's how I used to live. Now I live in a 3-bedroom apartment with my wife, 2 kids, a friend, and her 4 kids. The reason why is pretty simple. My friend made some very bad choices. She got with a guy that she really shouldn't have. And they moved onto his family's property. As you can imagine, that doesn't turn out well for nearly anybody. Numerous times she was thrown against the trailer, she was smacked around, her kids were screamed at, yelled at, called names, hit on the head, pushed around. You know, a good deal of abuse going on. And she was constantly threatened by his family. They're going to make sure she loses her kids. They're going to take everything she owns. They'll cook her out with nothing, blah, blah, blah. You know, the standard abusive threats. And for a long time, we weren't able to help her because she was being isolated. If any of you have ever dealt with, you know, spousal or relationship abuse, then you know the isolation is one of the most important aspects for the abuser. And anyway, a few times she tried to get away. One time she went into a shelter system. And the shelter system shuttled her around for, you know, between like 3 counties, and then finally kicked her out and said, okay, you're good now. You can find a place to live. That's fucking helpful. The police, when they were called, didn't bother to do anything. Literally. One time they came out, and the parent said, oh no, he didn't do anything. And they said, okay, thank you, and left. The other times, the police just didn't bother to come out and investigate. It just wasn't important enough. That is wrong. You know, there are so many laws that are in effect to protect an abused partner in a relationship. And none of them were applied here. None of them. Well, the other day, the fuckwad goes off to a party. He leaves his car parked at his sister's house or something, and he goes to a party. The same party that his sister is at. The same party that her sister's boyfriend is at. In another town. Well, somebody slashed his tires. Now, my friend is living with me because the police filed felony spousal abuse charges against her. That's right. I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know anybody ever married a tire. I honestly had no idea marrying a tire was even remotely something within the realm of human capability. But apparently she horribly abused a tire. The best part is, the police are using as witness the people that were at the party with the fuckwad, with her abusive boyfriend. His family members, which make unreliable witnesses, and family members that are not anywhere near the crime they just said they witnessed. What is stunning is that if your tires get slashed, you can call the cops, tell them who did it, and they will arrest that person. They will press charges. I mean, do you see anything right in that situation? And then you add to it that the charge is spousal abuse, when in fact all cases of the abuse, of real abuse, were dismissed by the cops. Just, yeah, we don't want to investigate. We don't care. So now my house is filled with kids. Filled with kids. Ugh. I don't know what I'm going to do about the situation, but we're trying to find her housing and everything. But seriously, do any of you see any way that it makes sense for the male who is abusive to claim that the female who is not abusive slashed his tires, and then get that charge to not be malicious mischief, not be vandalism, but be spousal abuse? Seriously? Fucking spousal abuse? Anyway, that's what's going on in my life.